Like growing up in this society, and just because you have this skin tone, you have different rules that you gotta abide by, or you can't be proud of your history because you're this skin tone. Like people really got killed because they were a different skin tone, bro. You know how stupid that is?
Yeah.
You know how ignorant you gotta be to put somebody in a tree and hang them because they're black? It's probably the dumbest shit I ever heard, bro, to be honest with you. Like, I say this from not an ignorant standpoint, by the way. So shout out to the educators. I'm not diminishing um, what you put out there and what I've learned. I'm saying that it's one of the dumbest things ever.
Yeah.
It really is.
And honestly, through my life experience and what I've experienced the most is that when people attribute accomplishments to race, it's because they're trying to attach their accomplishments to other people because usually they don't have anything going on for themselves. And I see a lot of different races do this. And like even like for myself personally, like I wouldn't call anything that I do black excellence because I think it's just excellence, and I think anybody can do it if they just exhibit certain disciplines. You look for opportunities. You keep being relentless with your search for opportunities and being prepared when the opportunities come. And I don't think that's exclusively to black excellence, and I think that limits you when you think that way. So oftentimes when people try to equate pride or supremacy because of their race, it's because they don't got no other accomplishments to attach to. So you want to now all of a sudden you supreme. So now you got to believe that you supreme because of your race, and that's the thing that makes you supreme. Go accomplish something, man. I mean, yeah,
It's one of it really is, bro. You really don't like somebody because they're a different color, they're a different religion, bro. That's the dumbest shit ever for me. I don't get along with people like that, bro. And I don't have time to listen to people like that. Literally, you're trying to downplay the fact of racism and then say pick up your bootstraps and work harder when there's a whole system designed to oppress people that have darker skin tones.
oh yeah, yeah. And I'm a this is the crash out cam, by the way. That's what he called it, the crash out cam. But and we're gonna get into that in a second. But just to kind of piggyback off what he's saying right here, I gotta be honest with y'all too. Y'all know I played for the USA rugby team, so I've been all over. And I'm gonna tell you right now, for black folks in particular, your darker skin tone, you ain't gonna get no privilege nowhere. I don't know who need to hear that in the comments. You might be American and you think it might be bad for us here, and I understand your perspective. Trust me, I get it. But I'm telling you right now, I've been to China, brother. When the jab happened, when the jab virus happened, they was kicking African people out of their hotels and trying to send them back to blame the Africans for the thing that started and where Trump said it happened. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They was kicking the African people out because there are places in China that you just can't go into if you have this skin tone that I have, that me and Kyrie are talking about, if you black. I was in Kenya literally just last year in May. I bought the section. I left the section to go to the bathroom with one of my buddies. We came back to the section, and the guard who's at the front of the VIP to let you into the section at the club, he let my buddy go through with no questions. But for me, he ain't let me go through. I was the one that paid for it. Why? Because my buddy is white and Cuban. And it's associated with having money being white. And that's all over the world. This is in Kenya, right? Where you would assume it wouldn't be none of this going on. But if that was a white guy, I would have probably attributed that to race. I would probably, in low key, it kind of is race. He was assuming because I'm black that I wasn't supposed to be in that section, and I was the one that paid for it. And I'm not trying to make that out to be my man a slouch. He going, I'm going to give him my card, and he going to split it with me on the back end, but I'm going to give him my card, that type of situation. But I was the one that paid for the section. The guard let my friend in. Why? And this is in Kenya because he's white. So what I'm trying to tell people is, yeah, that's just going to be everywhere, though. Everywhere you go, even in African countries, there's tribalism, especially in Kenya. There are different tribes. You look at what's happening in South Sudan, literal people genociding each other, hundreds of thousands of deaths because they're in different tribes. Same skin tone, but just want a reason to hate and attribute their accomplishments to other people and attach themselves to other people's accomplishments and claim supremacy because of that. So, yeah, I do agree that it's an ignorant mindset, and it usually resonates from people that are more they're absorbing too much of the outside or worrying about too much what's on the outside, when really the human struggle is about trying to become a better person on the inside. That's really what it is. How can you better yourself? The situations may exist, but at the end of the day, you're not going to get that. As an African American, I'm telling you right now, I traveled all over. You're not going to get that privilege anywhere. So,
So you can judge me when you see me at a basketball court. You can say all these nasty things. People have said nasty things to me before.
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
people say different things to people before, but you don't even fucking know who I am.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. This is my crash out cam because I got to give y'all this one-on-one POV before I get out of here. But the racism and all that stuff, and I'm sure like I've gotten shadow banned plenty of times on my social platforms for talking about certain issues. I don't care either. But I'm saying I stand up for humanity being a coexisting community.
Yeah.
Where race, culture, and class or religion is not always at the forefront of everything you do.
Yeah. I don't think it'll ever happen. It's like a "I have a dream" speech type of thing where you're saying like every unity amongst all. I don't think it'll happen. Even in places where people have the same skin tone, there are different tribes and people will judge each other over that. Even in white neighborhoods, somebody might like the Vikings, somebody might like the Packers, somebody like the Eagles, somebody might like the Chiefs. You know, people are always going to find a way to be tribalistic. But I've learned from my own personal experiences that there's just bad people of all races. There are just bad people of all races. And because I'm around my own people a lot, when I was in situations of victimhood, oftentimes it involved my own people. I went to a place on a Sunday at 8 p.m. with my wife, and maybe I shouldn't even have been there on a Sunday. Maybe that was my first mistake right there. That's the day of rest. I should have been at my house. But I went to a little place, play a little music, get a little lunch, dinner situation. And within an hour, I'm dodging bullets. A person that's in my situation financially that should be able to keep my wife safe. I want to go have a good time around people that look like me. And they're shooting. Literally, there's one parking spot. They're shooting in the next parking spot. I have to pull my wife to the ground out of the car. Right? So, yeah, they're just bad people of all races. And when you get on the internet, especially where people can vent and just talk mad because they just want to be edgy. You know how that is. These people ain't going to really have that energy in real life, but they want to be edgy online and try to rage bait online. You'll get a lot more of that, especially. And I think it's a shame, but I really don't. If I'm quite honest about the human condition, I don't think it'll go anywhere. And to be quite frank, I don't experience a lot of racism. Maybe because I'm the type of guy where people don't feel like they can act that way to me. And maybe they are. People would be saying, oh, they're closet racist. Maybe they just not presenting it to you. Okay. Exactly. Act cordial when we all together. Everybody can have their own opinions, but you must not be that bold about it if we in the same space and we okay. Keep it that way then, on both sides. It's fine. Coexist, right? So I believe, yeah, he's right. It shouldn't be a thing. I think it is a thing. I think it's going to continue to be a thing. And I think that there are people that aren't going to accomplish much in life and attribute some of their successes to the accomplishments of others and try to build supremacy off that. This is how it is.
I'm not saying you don't put God first. I'm not saying you don't put your faith first. I'm saying that you would allow those things to not show you the truth of how you're supposed to treat others.
Yeah, I hear you,
if you
Kyrie.
put God first and your faith is strong, what the fuck in your faith tells you to hate other people? I haven't read that in the Quran, to hate other people. I haven't read that in the Bible. I haven't read that in the Talmud. I haven't read that in different holy books, to just go out and hate people. I've never seen that.
All things considered, I agree with Kyrie. I think it's a shame, but it does exist, and I think it's just a part of the human condition. And if you're a victim of it, I think you got to learn how to operate in a way where you can empower yourself or get yourself in a certain situation where you don't feel that way. And you should always believe that you have more power to influence your life than somebody else's opinion of you, regardless of whatever your race is. I think you should believe that. And I'm going to put this story up here on the screen so you can see it while I'm talking about it. But that same trip that I was telling you about in Kenya, 3 days before that, me and my buddy, who's a white and Cuban dude, had to fight 5 guys that came out of our village. Y'all going to see the police report right on the screen. It ain't fake. I ain't going to put it all up there because it got my personal information on it. We had to fight 5 guys that had machetes. And this man, who's a white and Cuban man, helped me defend my family. And my wife was in that house that day. And so was his wife in our villa that day. And one other woman. So it was just us two. 2 guys versus 5 guys. 2 of them had machetes and they had slingshots. My buddy got hit in the face with a slingshot. Almost got hit with a machete. And that was to help me protect my family. So if you want me to believe that everybody racist, I just can't believe that. Because I've been in these rooms. I've seen good people and I've seen bad people. The good people I keep around me, the bad people I push them away. If you have this mindset about the world, I don't want to be around you. I want to be around you. Because I want to be successful and I want to build certain values in myself. and display that to the world. I don't want to sit here and grab all my accomplishments from other people, even though I'm proud of some of the accomplishments of African Americans here in America. We built a really good culture here. I think right now it's a little skewed. Don't get me wrong, I don't like the modern culture. I'm talking about the stuff we had families and the civil rights movements and Jesse Owens going to represent America on America's behalf to prove to small mustache man Hitler that they weren't the supreme race. They sent Jesse Owens to do that. When they wanted to prove to the world that American culture was on the rise during the Cold War against Russia and we was trying to battle for influence, they sent Louis Armstrong to travel the world and show the beauty of American art. They sent Louis Armstrong, an African American man. So we have a deep-rooted culture here as African Americans in America. I'm proud of our American culture. I think we've built a lot here. You're not going to go anywhere else where you're not going to experience these certain disparities, even in African nations, trust me, as a person who's been. It just is what it is, man. You know, you got to deal with the cards that you got in your hand. Till next time.